Hello again. We are back with episode number 18 of the Drunkenly Critically Acclaimed. Yes, I said drunkenly because that's probably the only viewers we have. Soon to be award winning. God, what a freaking lie that is. The John Sawyer Show, right here on Strong Island TV. If you are watching us on Facebook Live, we thank you. If you are listening to us on the TuneIn Radio, you really have to interrupt me?
Yes.
Okay. If you're listening to us on the TuneIn Radio app, we thank you. If you don't have the TuneIn Radio app but wish to get it, you can do so by heading to the App Store or Google Play, depending on which service your intergalactic cellular phone happens to carry. Download the app for free. Search Strong Island Radio in the search engine. And as long as you have it marked down as one of your favorites, you can listen to us on the go every single week. I am your host, John Sawyer, alongside the quite manly Mr. Evil Joe himself. Joe Herb, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. It's a fun week this week.
Very fun week. And joining us in the guest chair after how long have you not been seen?
It's been around at least a 6-month hiatus now, my friend.
6 months? It feels longer.
It might be. But well, 6 months in my head.
Well, my old friend, my old coworker, Mr. Robbie Rebel. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you, John?
All right. This has to be your first public appearance since when?
Actually, this has been probably my first public appearance since I actually got into a car accident over the summer of last year. And it took me out of wrestling. Actually, to this day, I haven't really been wrestling or anything.
What happened in the accident?
Me and one of my coworkers, we were going right down Sunrise Highway, and next thing I know, there was this obviously Dodge Ram 250.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, 250. It just riding our tail, really riding us hard. And next thing I know, stop traffic right over by the Oakdale Merge.
I got a story about Dodge Rams, but continue.
So right over by the Oakdale Merge, we had to stop short, and we almost hit into someone. Next thing I know, guy wasn't paying attention, crashed right into the back of us. I had to go to the hospital. I had a stage 3 concussion for a minute.
Well, thank God you're okay, and thinking back to the accident, I mean, knowing that it's a Dodge Ram, it really wasn't much to worry about. I mean, because they lie to you in the commercials when they say that those trucks are Ram tough. This brings up my story. I have a friend who bought the Dodge Ram. I think it was a 2011 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he bought it simply because of a commercial he saw. He's that stupid. Like, he'll see the commercial, and if he wants it, he'll get it.
Some commercials get you, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I saw the commercial he showed me. There was this Dodge truck sitting there, and you hear the voice, Dodge trucks, Ram tough. And this big robot comes over and starts beating the shit out of the truck. We're like, then the guy comes in, gets in the truck, and drives it away. Not a scratch on it. Meanwhile, my friend gets sideswiped on the LIE, $5,000 in damages on the truck. Ram tough my ass.
That's right. I used
no,
to,
you're forgetting the first part. They're calling it Dodge.
Oh yeah, Dodge. Yeah.
I used to sell cars, and there's a story that I was told that I used to sell Chevys, and they introduced a new front end on the Corvettes. Mm-hmm. Where you could hit the front end with a hammer and it wouldn't do damage. It was like a strong fiberglass front end. And that's what they used to do in the dealerships. They'd have a sledgehammer sitting there, and when they wanted to show it off to the customer, they'd literally walk over to the front of a Corvette and hit the front of the Corvette with a sledgehammer. So the guy showing the Corvette to people says, yeah, check this out. The front end is like almost indestructible. Grabs a sledgehammer, comes over, hits the wrong Corvette. It was the one that didn't have the strong front end. Totaled the car with the sledgehammer.
Did he get the sale?
No, I don't think he did actually.
I didn't think so.
Well, thank God you're okay. How long were you hospitalized after this accident?
I wasn't hospitalized very long, probably about a couple days, and then they released me.
So you were back to normal, shortly after.
Well, it wasn't really back to normal, but for head injuries, there's not much you could do. I was just in a fog for probably about a good 2 to 3 weeks. Motor skills were very, very low. I mean, my motor skills aren't very great on some occasions either, but yeah, it was tough. I didn't think I was gonna even think about getting in a ring for a while. I've never been shaken so hard in my entire life. besides that one incident, I feel everything is done. I didn't want to have a episode or anything like that. How
Right.
somehow some wrestlers, I'm not going to mention any names, have episodes because of head injuries.
Yeah.
But
And I was just
I don't want to walk that tightrope.
I was just thinking the same thing. There's a lot of guys who love the business that much to where they will not consider their own safety in the first place, which,
Especially, I'm sorry to cut you off, but especially in front of a crowd. I mean, I understand the love for the business, and anyone who knows me knows that I love this business, love it, entertainment in general. But when it comes down to putting your body on the line, when it's between 100 and 200 people, you got to be smart.
right.
You have to be smart with
Exactly.
it. You're going in front of 5,000 people. Yeah, go ahead, do your spots, hurt yourself a little bit, have fun. But
Yeah.
some people just want to go at it, and that's the risk of the business, no matter what.
like
Yeah,
that-
and your brain never fully recovers from a concussion. Once you get one, it's easier to get more.
It's like,
hell-
it's like
hell
that
yeah.
time Rob Feinstein asked ECW legend Danny Doring what's his opinion on indie wrestling. He goes, "Oh, it's guys taking the 6:30 midnight corkscrew sunset flip moonsault to pop his mom in the front rows."
If you want to hear about indie wrestling, just Google Jim Cornette all day.
Oh yeah, I love listening to Jim
He's a
Cornette.
favorite of the show, by the way.
Yes.
We'll always bring it up.
I love Jim. I actually I did a tribute thing for Jim Cornette down in North Carolina one time with I'm going to plug here. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Gimmickry Entertainment. I used to work for a place
Okay,
called Gimmickry
yeah, yeah,
Entertainment. I had we did something in Las Vegas. They're doing stuff now. I haven't been completely following the whole thing with them. I should be, but we had a whole thing with Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette went off on so many indie guys that
Oh,
they did
yeah.
a tribute show to him, and he was like, "That was a nightmare on some things." Just some things. Most of the guys down there are great workers, though. They like the old
yeah.
school stuff. I will definitely say a lot of Southern guys like old school stuff.
Well, speaking of great workers, this past Friday, myself and him were at a House of Hardcore recently over in Smithtown.
Yes, Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer's thing, House of Hardcore 26. And might I say, the entire show, and I'm not saying this because they had guys there like Sandman and Bubba Ray Dudley and Matt Stryker and all that, but with the indie talent that are not known yet, from start to finish, the entire card was amazing. I mean, you got the opener
I
being...
wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that?
No, I talked to you after the show. The first half of the show I thought wasn't that great.
Well, it's because most people there are there to see the names, like...
That has nothing to do with the in-ring product.
What?
That has nothing to do with the in-ring product.
You're saying exactly what I was going to say. That's nothing to do with the in-ring product to some people. They're there just to see Bubba Ray. Or they're there just
Okay,
to
but that
see-
doesn't excuse the fact that the first half of the show was kind of crappy.
Well, still, you got to... what?
I will say for indie shows, you gotta give and take a little bit.
Yeah, I know,
There's
I know
always
that.
gonna be new
I know
guys
that
coming
completely.
through. There's always gonna be guys that don't know what they're doing, but know somebody, and
Right.
they have a good look, but they don't know how to put on a damn headlock.
Yeah.
Speaking of that segues into our next topic.
Another introduction.
There was a recent... this had to have been like a week ago or something like that.
I think it was because I think I got home from doing the show last week and it was trending on Facebook.
Yeah, Bobby, if you can pull up the first picture. This is coming from Rip Rogers' Twitter account, which I don't remember the handle off the top of my head. We'll plug it on the Facebook later on tonight. But he puts up this paragraph, or, this,
It is Hustler 2754.
Yes, Hustler2754 on Twitter if you want to follow Rip Rogers. If you're a wrestler looking to learn more about the business, or if you're a fan who likes more of an insight on the business,
Highly recommended.
Yeah, definitely. He puts this thing up. He writes, "Just got this," and it's this series of writing that says, "Every indie match now, handshake, drawn out exchange, this is awesome chant, strike exchange, dive, no sell indie strong style, dive, more strikes, no sells, dive, flippy floppy sequence, dive, hit everyone with each other's finisher, then Humpty Dumpty we all fall down, fight forever chant, rinse and repeat until every move is useless and means nothing, dive, take unsafe shot that looks like shit and hurts like hell, then roll up finish, handshake and hug after match, everyone's hand raise, All these guys chant. Go home and type on social media thanking your opponents and company for match and telling others they should book these guys. ... Dive. I got a kick out of seeing this. But then WWE superstar Randy Orton retweets it with ... Dive, on his own. Minutes later, Bubba Ray Dudley, who's now a part of Reign of Honor, tweets this. Bob, if you can put up picture number 2. Nice little picture there. For those of you listening on the TuneIn app, it's Bubba Ray Dudley diving off the top rope on, I don't know who these guys are, but it's 3 other wrestlers, and they got their arms extended with the oh my God look on their face as Bubba's, falling at them. And for those of you who know who Bubba Ray Dudley is, he is not a small man. So
That looks like it might be the Bullet Club guys.
it probably, but Bubba Ray tweets that, to which Randy Orton retweeted this also, saying, LOL, there is a difference between a young, hungry talent diving and an old, out-of-shape vet falling. So then he puts up some other stuff, like a gif of a fat boy falling into a pool. Right there. And then he puts up this next one. He writes, I really need to issue an apology. And it's a screenshot from the notepad section on
Wait,
the
who
iPhone.
wrote this one?
What?
Who wrote this one?
Randy.
This is Randy.
Randy wrote this one. He writes, and I quote, sorry to the indie marks, indie guys, and old timers who do dives, took offense, ... Just having a good time over a few drinks in Denmark, closing the SmackDown Live tour, ... while beating Raw and making over $5 million in the last 11 shows. Now, before I continue there, just to show you how stupid wrestling dirt sheets are, a dirt sheet picked up this story and wrote an article with the headline, Randy Orton makes $5 million. Did I just now? In nowhere in this does it say Randy that he made $5 million. He said the company made $5 million, gross $5 million in the last 11 shows. But I digress.
Really, he said SmackDown beat Raw by making $5 million.
Yeah. So the company. He didn't say that he made $5 million, but I continue. But I digress. He writes. Okay. Now, I know to some that doesn't equate to a standing room only crowd of 150 people paying $8 in an armory somewhere, ... But in the big boy world, that's called putting asses in seats. So enjoy your flips, dives, and 20 super kicks per match to each their own. I will go dive back into my 13th title run and get ready to flip when my bank statement comes this month, ... Headlock.
Yes, headlock.
So...
Classic.
So I'm losing my shit laughing so hard just seeing all this because, him and Rip, they're pretty spot on, with this whole style of wrestling.
I mean, going back to House of Hardcore, that 3-way tag match from the House of Hardcore show Friday night was pretty much the original post.
Yeah.
Word for word.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a guy sitting by me that did the all these guys chant at the end of the match.
So much so that I had to throw my 2 cents into the mix. There's a Facebook page called Drunk Wrestling Vet, which is like a comedic page. Bobby, if you can put the next one up. It's basically, I don't know if it's a wrestler or some fan pretending to be a wrestler, but he'll write ridiculous posts and, make it funny, I guess only wrestlers will find it funny. Like, he'll write stuff like this. A couple of years back, the good old vet worked a small fed in Love Ladies, New Jersey. The rats there were anything but lovely, ... That didn't stop the boys from running the damn off-winter top battle royale. Your favorite locker room leader nearly aspirated on his Jägermeister watching that 4-way C-section scar and loose skin scamble, brother.
It's funnier if you imagine the whole thing in Sandman's voice.
Yeah. So
the sad part is that I know some people that he might be talking about.
So this guy writes, Bob, you put the next one up. Brother ended every match with a schoolboy, to which I reposted that on my Facebook page with ... schoolboy. So there's my 2 cents right there.
That's too good. I love it.
But oh my God, which brings the question. And I'll give my answer and to which you guys can give your answer. That style of indie wrestling, the whole dive, spotty, style. The big question out there about it is that good for professional wrestling? My answer to that question is when it's done right and not all the time. There are guys who work for companies like Evolve and Dragon Gate, who'll do that, but they look amazing, when they do it, like Ricochet, a perfect example, Will Ospreay, Tony Nese, Long Island's own Tony Nese, who's on Raw right now under the Cruiserweight division. Whenever they do, matches of that style, nothing looks like shit. Everything's crisp and spot on. So, that's what I mean by when it's done right. If you don't know what I mean, those at home, look up those guys and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Especially Tony Nese.
Exactly. Not all the time, meaning don't have a show where there's matches like that from start to finish. There's got to be a mixture,
No, what people have to understand is that a show, okay, you go into a movie theater, right? Mm-hmm. How does the movie go? Starts off slow, builds
pacing.
up.
Pacing.
There's a climax, comes back down, maybe another climax or two, depending on how if there's a sequel or blah blah blah. Like it could be Flavor of Ice Cream at that point. But the point is that it goes from low to high,
right,
to mid to high to back down to low, and you gotta end.
Right.
You gotta end at the you gotta know when to end. Know when to end. When something's hit and someone kicks out, and you don't know how to top it, and then you go for a roll up. Not everyone's Ricky Steamboat, bro. Not everyone could win with a roll up, and it's gonna look good, and you're gonna be like, "That was the greatest match ever." You do a 450, and that's the only thing that looks good in your match. Guess what? They're gonna understand that there was someone that did a 450. No one's gonna remember your name. You want people to remember your name.
Right.
Yep.
Your name is more important than the move you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and if only, everybody could know that, as well as some other things, And I put this on Facebook the other night as well, because there was a part of the House of Hardcore show where Mick Foley made a surprise appearance. And one of my many pet peeves in the wrestling business is when kayfabe is broken, secrets are told, and there's no such thing as surprises anymore.
There's no such thing as kayfabe anymore.
Well,
There really isn't.
Well,
if you want proof,
I hate
if you
to
want,
say it.
if you want
Well,
proof of that,
well,
just look at Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman,
Yeah,
touring Rome together last
yeah,
week.
but it still, it applies to, and I'll say this, and another wrestler by the name of Len Oddity would agree with me in saying this too. It's not dead. Certain wrestlers are letting it die and making it die and allowing
Yes,
it to
that's
die.
true.
It's not fully dead because, it still can be protected. I protected it to the best of my I
It depends
could.
who they're trained with. If they're trained with old school guys and with old school strong morals with that, people who have been through the business. Like me personally, I know some people are gonna might backlash on this, but me personally, I trained with Mr. Hughes back down in Atlanta, Georgia. The guy was very old school, very old school. If you did a spot off the top rope, he would just say it's garbage. He's like, it doesn't make sense that you're doing a spot off the top rope when we have a show every Thursday in front of a couple people who aren't paying.
Right.
He said you could win them over with who you are, not the moves you do. Again, to repeat myself, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. This will probably serve as a good educational video for some guys if they choose to watch.
If
but
people listen, they
Oh yeah.
but then again, most
you
of our
plan it, they will grow.
most of our viewers are intoxicated while hooking up with the C-section broads, brother.
One word. Wrestlers.
Yeah.
We's a gross people.
Just getting my opinion in on this. I don't think it's a long-term good thing for the business. I think short-term it is for two reasons. First of all, the WWE product is a very slow in-ring product, which is fine. They're doing that style for a reason. They're trying to protect their workers a little bit better than they used to. That's why you get a lot of impact move followed by 2 minutes of rest holds.
Which is good. It actually makes the move mean more.
Exactly. But then the people that don't want to see that have an option to see something else. They can watch Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and see guys smash each other with ladders and shit for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but then the question is like, do they want to watch wrestling or do they want to watch Jackass?
Well,
True.
yeah.
True.
You know, I mean, you could have the best of both worlds to a degree, but when you're watching WWE, you got to know what product you're watching.
Right.
Let me
Which brings me back. I mentioned this on like one of our first shows that if you wanted to see a mix of all of that, ECW.
Yeah, but I brought up the kayfabe comment, you know, which is which brings me back to what I was mentioning prior to that with well, what you were saying. You know, it's not about the moves; it's about, you know, who you are and stuff like that.
People want to know who
If
you are.
when everybody involved in a show cares enough to actually apply their craft and, you know, do things right and stuff like that, pro wrestling can be amazing. I said that on Facebook when I got back from House of Hardcore, and I'll say it now. You know, pro wrestling can be an amazing thing when done correctly. Because you and I have been on shows where things have not been done correctly, and you've seen, you know, the outcome of that.
First step one, get a good ring.
Yeah. Let me just put this in real quick because I forgot to mention this in the opening of the show. If any of you would like to call in and speak with Robbie or speak with myself and Joe, call-in number is 516-945-9099. Again, the number is 516-945-9099. We also have Skype. If you wish to video call, Skype in, and have your pretty face shown on the air along with these three pretty faces, you can do so by Skyping at strongisland.com or by Skyping the call-in number, which is, once again, 516-945-9099. I want to reminisce with you about one particular night.
Okay, here we go. We were starting this before, but let's go.
Yeah. What was the night where you were in an angle with Static and the Syndicate, and the Butchers put the paws on you, and they, you know, just left you laying, and all the baby faces carried you out, you know.
Mm-hmm. That was the night you came in and saved me, right? Didn't you come in and save me at that point?
No, that was the next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because okay, I remember now.
What were you gonna ask me?
Well, I was just gonna ask you what you remembered of it, but
I told you my short-term memory.
but yeah, I'm starting to remember now. It was my first tag match with the Butchers, and me and him were just having a conversation about white heat on the way up to the studio and the times that I've encountered white heat, you know, working shows. I worked the match with the Butchers, and they go up on us, you know, obviously, because I'm not even a year into the business at this point. I'm selling it like I just, you know, got murdered because they got a lot of offense in on me. I'm crawling to the back. I go sit in my chair, you know, and normally the music plays for like a couple more minutes, and then it stops, and then it's on to the next match. Mm-hmm. Music keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. So I'm thinking they're doing the wave the flag, you know, deal in the rain and getting their heat, the whole anti-USA thing. Music keeps going and going and going.
Which, in my opinion, now I don't think the anti-USA thing stuff works anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore. It's insanely. It's even more fragile now than it was in the '80s, in my opinion.
But this night I think it did, because either that or this particular fan, you know, had some sympathy for myself and Juggalo Myers, because the music kept going and going, and I'm like, you know, okay, someone tell the sound guy to cut the song and get to the next track, and the music keeps going. I'm like, what's going on? So I look through the little peephole in the dressing room to see what's going on out there, and there's one of the Butchers in the faces of this fan, like this skinny kid, looked like he was in his early 20s. In the front
I know
row.
where you're going with the story.
Yeah, and the guy gets thrown out. Mm-hmm. Well,
this one I remember.
Well, they come back in, and and the guy who was in the fan's face, he's just cursing, you know, like, that motherfucker, if he would have swung at me, you know, I would have killed him, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, he wanted a piece of the Butchers. The Butchers got the heat. That's the old school heat, man.
Yeah,
like I was talking about with old school guys.
Which is amazing. You know, you never see that anymore.
It is insanely magical. It really is. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. People could get hurt and stuff like that. But if you wait long enough in the back of the locker room, you know, they have to leave eventually.
Yeah. So he's in the back, and I actually played a part in, it was either me or someone else, but I remember going up to one of the security guys back there. I was like, this guy's ejected from the building, right? You know, and the guard was like, yeah. So I go to the butcher. I'm like, hey, he should be gone. You know, calm down. Everything should be fine. So later on, you have the match with Static. Butchers put the paws on you. All the baby faces run out to save you. And you're not moving an inch. I remember you were just like completely still, like you were dead. And
I had to pretend I was sleeping.
yeah, you had to pretend you were sleeping. And
Was not allowed to move. Dead cell.
some of the guys, like, you know, Zach Vengeance and
Some people thought I was really like really hurt.
Yeah, which made this entire thing look awesome. But some of the babyface were freaking out, like, how do we get him out of here? I'm like, just fucking get him out of there.
Yeah, you roll me out, pick me up. Come on, man.
So, you
We
know,
don't have ambulances at the time.
so they're bringing you out.
New York didn't put the squeeze on us yet.
And they, you know, all I remember is seeing these guys carry you out like those, like, remember the Muhammad Hassan Undertaker angle where he got those guys?
Yeah, like
like,
the druids. I was getting carried like a druid.
Yeah, they were carrying like druids, and they're chanting, and the crowd's chanting USA, USA, as we're getting in the bag. You're like, no USA, chant Robbie. But we're in the back.
Eventually, we did.
Show's over. We're all in the main area. And this was at the bingo hall in Shirley.
Oh, good times.
Some of the wrestlers were leaving out the back door because I guess that's where their cars were. And
Sorry to interrupt you really quick, but did you know they used to do WWE shows back in the day?
Yeah, there was
It was like WWF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vince Singer's whole deal.
Okay, continue.
Somebody yelled, fight, fight, fight. And in Shirley, that's all you have to do to get a crowd to come, you know, circle. You could be in Stop and Shop and yell, fight, and they'll go
Something
to the
in the
produce
water
section.
over that way.
What?
Something in the water over that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
must
You can be in the produce section and yell, he's got a gun. And everybody be like, where? Snapchat. Okay, good.
This Snapchat, I'm getting the hell out of there.
But everybody will fight, and like the majority of the people on the floor just run out to see what was going on. Apparently, that guy who got ejected from the building came back with some friends, and they had baseball bats, and they were waiting for the butchers to get to their car. So I remember it was either Gino or one of the security guards. They take me, you, the butchers, and a few other baby faces, and they have us locked in the dressing room with the door locked from the outside.
We weren't allowed to leave that building until literally midnight, and we couldn't take down the ring until after that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we were literally there for until 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning at a venue? Oh, I mean, come on, man. We're not getting paid that much.
You're not working by the hour there.
No, oh no.
One of the funny
Hot dog and handshake. Good job.
One of the funniest parts of the story was when one of the guards were like, "So yeah, the police have been called, and you're pacing back and forth like, why'd you call the cops? This is awesome! It's like Puerto Rico days, brother. This is awesome."
I'm marking out at that point. The show's over. I'm still marking, man.
You still have your shit on too.
I was like, oh, let's keep going.
And then how'd your mom react to that?
She thought it was the most hilarious thing. My mom is very, very relaxed with that stuff.
She didn't believe it?
No, she didn't at all. She thought it was an act.
I
She
thought-
thought it was part of the show.
I thought she believed it and got concerned.
No, she did.
And
Wait.
and then she-
No. She believed it after I told her it actually happened. Like it was real. She didn't believe it at all. She thought that it was all part of the show and that we were just going to leave later and we were coming back for the ring. I was like, no, Mom. We had an issue, a real issue. There was about 5 cop cars right there.
No, I was talking about what happened in the ring. You know. When you were knocked out, and supposedly knocked out.
Yeah, she really did think I was knocked out. The hardest thing for me personally, and this happens often every time I do in Long Island, is performing in front of my mom.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because she doesn't hold back. If she knows something looks like crap, she's more of a super fan than that guy in Brooklyn
It's
who
the
has
same-
nothing on my mom, man.
It's the same thing with some of my relatives, even my dad. I think that was the same night where my dad
Did
got
your dad hit Will? He hit Mark Static one time.
No, that was that was the following year.
Yeah, he has a picture of that still. He loves that photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your dad clocked him.
That was the that was the next year. But I remember that night. he was standing over by the concession stand area at the bingo hall to get a good view of the ring. And one of the butchers has me in the corner, and he's just pounding me. He's giving me the heat in the corner, and he sees my dad, and he goes, "How about that, Pop, son?" He's pounding some more. He's pounding some more. The next day, my dad goes up to me and goes, "Hey, that guy, he a nice guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a sweetheart." He goes, "Okay, was he really hitting you?" I'm like,
I mean, he's touching me, yeah.
you know, like,
Those little marks aren't like fully fake.
yeah, you know, which really made me impressed with, you know, indie wrestling that much more, to make a lifelong fan like my dad, you know, really take a step back and go, yeah, I know this is all make believe, but
That's,
you know,
that's the illusion of wrestling, man.
Yeah.
That's what you want in these days.
Yeah.
You could throw a great, like, I hate this.
which is what we all set out for, to make everybody question where's the reality, where's the embellishment.
Yes.
You know,
But that's entertainment in general. That's movies. That's
Yeah.
that's everything. But what I wanted to say was, there's a lot, like, when someone gets super kicked and they do the whole timber, and like they just.
Timber, you talking about my stalling suplex?
We'll get into another conversation about that. But no, like when someone gets hit and they literally go limp, or they stiffen up and just fall down, it's cliche now. Stop doing it, man. When I did a show in West Virginia, right?
Right.
There was this one. I forgot his name. Please forgive me if he ever hears this. But we did an angle where I had him up for a finish, and he spits water in my face, and then clocks me right in the face. And instead of dead selling, I literally started flailing. And I don't mean like take the bump, flail. I mean I went down, held my nose, and literally started kicking my feet, trying to make myself tear up a little bit. I had people in West Virginia questioning if we were really fighting. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I think I saw you one time.
It's not that hard to.
I think I saw you one time at a private, and I remember being really impressed with one match you did. This was at a private show with like a secluded audience. That's as far as I'll say about what type of show it was. But
I got paid for it. Don't worry.
yeah, of course. I know you did. But it was you and this guy in a First Blood match. Well, not many people know that you guys were using tablets. You weren't gigging or doing anything, eternal with your bodies,
Yeah,
and
we decided against it. We didn't want to do anything.
Yeah. And there's a spot where you brought a real machete out, but you didn't cut him. Instead, you were using the food coloring. And, that was extremely believable. Then there was the part where you got insecurity in the mouth and you broke the tablet and chucked the blood out. That was believable, And to any fan, if any fan saw that without any, idea of the inner workings of that, you probably would have made a whole building of, a standing room audience just go, oh, my God, is he okay? That's how convincing you were out there,
With bigger shows, I kind of like try to do what WWE does and just make it to a broader audience, because that's what I personally want to grab.
Right.
And the character Robbie Rebel is obviously a little more towards a younger crowd, because
right.
We're the rebel, the fight. You know what I mean? But I know what the match you're talking about, and I'm not afraid to say his name. But it was me and Mikey, right? Mikey and I.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, long hair, right?
It's not the guy you were working, and I'm trying to keep quiet. It's where you were at. That's.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it. The people who know about it or
yeah, that's why I say private show.
It was a private show.
Yeah,
and that was a little more testing the waters for Robbie Rebel, because I like to do the like being a little crazy, but I'm nowhere near like Len Oddity crazy. Len was a whole different ball game. I couldn't keep up with that guy, man.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, this is the John Sawyer Show live on Strong Island TV. We have the quintessential Mr. Robbie Rebel without his top hat, surprisingly.
It's getting washed.
It's getting washed?
I didn't know it was going to be on camera.
If Febreze in it?
I pulled the greenhorn move.
What'd you do?
I didn't bring my gear. I didn't know what the booking was about.
Yeah. So, do you have any stories from, your career, at all? Anything from like ECPW, from ringside, from stuff beforehand when you were with FTW, anything?
Well.
Anything funny? Anything interesting?
Oh, I got a good one about Jake the Snake Roberts and my buddy Mike Perillo.
Oh, okay.
So this one you gotta, if there's any kids listening, this is gonna be bad. But
Well, it's TVMA for a reason. So
they know how to click on things. I just swipe and click. Yeah, I'm that age.
Yeah, there's not gonna be some parent complaining. I took his phone. You didn't take his friend's phone.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. You didn't take the tablet.
Yeah.
You didn't take the PS4. So we were doing the job for FTW because we were running around grabbing Jake the Snake Roberts. We had to get him from his hotel, which was almost impossible.
Oh,
to
you were his
find.
ride to the building?
Yeah, for the night. Yeah, because
Okay.
Brian knew that we would do it without acting like marks, even though Mike.
Now how is he? Is he very reserved? Like he won't open
Jake?
up unless he knows you, or is
Jake?
he? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Jake the Snake Roberts is a ball buster.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, wait for this. So we pick him up, right? And he has all this stuff. And Mike is sitting in the front, which is already a bad idea. He gets up, he's like, "Okay, Nancy, in the back." And I'm like, "Oh no, he's in a mood." But he was stone sober the whole time. I will definitely give that for him. He was stone sober the whole time. We had a call time for the building. He was like, "Let's go get some food." And I was like, we have to be here at a certain point. And he was like, "Yeah, I know. Let's go get some food." So we go and stop at a diner very quickly. I call Brian. I was like, "What time do we need to be there?" He was like, "Don't worry. What's the thing where people dress up? There's a show before FTW. It was
the pre
Kaiju
Big
Big Battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were doing that either before or before, and while we're bringing Jake the Snake back, he looks at me and Mike, and he's like, "Okay, so which one of you ready? Which one of you sucks dick?" and I look at Jake and I'm like, "Bro, that one." So the whole time, because we had like a 30-minute ride, because Jake had to stop this and this and this and that because he needed to do errands for some reason. But the whole 30-minute ride, he goes to Mike and he was like, "So Greenhorn, when you going to And he just keeps busting his chops the whole ride there. When we're in
Did he have his
back-
arm around him?
Oh yeah, definitely. He even got in the back so that he could put his arms around him just to get Mike feeling weird. He was like, "Jake the Snake I don't know what's happening, man. He just won't leave me alone." I was like, "You're giving him reasons to keep doing it. You gotta act tough. This is the wrestling business. He's old school. Act tough."
Right.
I had that one.
My favorite Jake the Snake Roberts story. Sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
I told you this plenty of times. I told this on another show plenty of times. It was him and Diamond Dallas Page when they were living together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
DDP's a really nice guy.
Oh, great guy. He was still with Kimberly at the time, and I guess him and Jake just started doing business together. So he calls his wife up. He goes, "Hey, I got this great idea. What if we have Jake come stay with us for a little while? We could learn off each other, and it'll really work out great." And she goes, "Okay, but under one condition: no snakes in the house." So he goes, "Done, fine, no problem." First couple of weeks, everything's going fine, And then one night he hears this wild, crazy laughter. Goes up to the upstairs portion of the house, and he sees Jake on the floor playing with a 12-foot-long black cobra.
Oh, wow.
So, but he still hears the crazy laughter. So he keeps going further down to the hallway, and just to realize that it's his wife laughing. And she was watching some comedy movie or something. So he goes, "I'm not going to sell it." Just goes back downstairs. At the time, Jake was teaching him how to work with promoters. He's on the phone with somebody. They're trying to book a tour in Asia, I think. 5 minutes into the phone call, he gets the gig. And he's so excited. First international gig that he booked. He looks for Jake. He can't see him anywhere. Jake comes walking down the stairs. He goes to high-five him. "Dude, I got the gig." Jake walks right past him. "Big problems, big problems, big problems." "No, dude, I got the gig." "No, big problems. Snake's gone." "Are you shitting me?" No, I put it down. I walked away for like 5 minutes. I came back. It's gone. "What do you mean the snake's gone?" And fear is over Jake's face because he's not afraid of the reptile, but he's scared to death of Paige's wife, Kimberly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're looking around the house and they find it in the bathroom in like this air ducts, like it's slid in and it was in one of those hard areas to get out. So Paige's just like, pull him out of there. And Jake goes, I can't. You got to let him calm down for a couple of days. I don't have a couple of days. Pull him out of there. But he was, jabroni boy at the time, so he couldn't say no to Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake goes, I'm going to leave and I'll be right back. He came back 4 days later.
I wonder what he was doing for those 4 days.
I don't know. But continue. You had other stories?
I got one with for people who don't know who Robbie Rebel is. I have fake teeth. I have dentures, top dentures.
Was this? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, get a zoom in on that. Was this the Jimmy Hart seminar?
Yes, I'm about to put up the Jimmy Hart seminar. You know what I'm about to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
where I potatoed Drew in the corner.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about Drew for a second.
Okay.
So we're doing this little training seminar with Jimmy Hart, right? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy Hart is always positive energy. I've been around Jimmy multiple times throughout my life, and nothing but good. Speaking of Jimmy, I got another story from West Virginia. But anyway, okay. We're doing a training seminar. He does his match. Jimmy said it was pretty good. Like he was very highly impressed. So I work with this kid. This kid's greenhorn at the time. Barely knows how to lock up. His name's Drew. Sorry, Drew. And we're doing something to where he throws me off the rope and then he hits me square in the mouth. And Jimmy and this guy Bobby Rydell do not know that I had dentures at the time, right? So he knocks me square in the mouth. My teeth fall out, and this is where I got the idea of starting using the teeth as a gimmick, believe it or not. But they fall out, and Bobby Rydell goes, "Oh my God, get those off of there!" And Jimmy Hart's going, "Baby, that's the best gimmick I've ever seen!" Everyone knows how Jimmy's voice is, too. Yeah. We literally had to stop in the middle of the match because everyone was laughing so damn hard. It was so great. Sticking on the teeth topic, am I allowed to continue?
Sure.
Speaking on the teeth topic, the first time I actually used the teeth as a gimmick, I went down to North Carolina. I was doing a show for the gimmickry that I was talking about, right? Mm-hmm. At the time, it was called Another Company, and there was this big brute guy. His tag team is actually called the Brutes. I don't know if he's still working or not. I've been a little out of the loop, but his name's Mark James, right? Okay. Big guy, got to be 6'3", 230, 240 pounds, huge guy, and he's going. They were doing a tournament thing, and I was his first match. And skinny old Robbie Rebel. I'm 5'10". This guy's 6'3", 230. I'm like, oh shit. He comes up to me. I have food poisoning. I am sick as a freaking dog because Javier drank me under the table. Oh wow! The night before, me and Javier we partied hard that night, dude. And I don't party that often.
I never would have, because I remember you telling me he drank under the table.
Dude, he killed me.
I never suspected him as that kind of guy.
Javier? Oh no, he's a great guy. Yeah. But we
like the party.
No. And it's not like it was an all the time thing. But we really went at it with tequila too. So I was not feeling good.
Is he Mexican?
You got to ask him that. You got to have him come up here, man. He'll give you some great stories. But so I'm sick as a dog, and this guy thinks that I'm not going to be able to even get through this match, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, we're going to do this, and that. And I was like, okay. And then I told him like 2 or 3 things how I wanted to sell something, right? And then we had a spot with Mr. Vinny the Guido, because he had to come with me. Yeah. And so we get in the middle of the ring. We circle up, and he looks at me to nod to see if I'm okay, and I look at him, and I take my teeth out, and I was like, no, I'm sorry. I look at him and I nod back, and Vinny the Guido gets right on the side, and he goes to Vinny and he's like, "I'm gonna punch you so hard you're gonna go flying to the next state." And then I go look at him, and this is the first time I ever did this, and this is stuck for gimmick. I take my teeth out and I look at him. I'm like, "I bet you no matter how hard you punch me, I could take it." And he literally gets out of the ring and he looks at the whole crowd. And there's got to be 500 people there, and he goes, I'm breaking kayfabe. That just freaked me out right now. That I don't want. Yeah, and I was twirling my teeth with in my fingers, and because I was so messed up that day, I had no idea what I was doing. So we get in. We have one hell of a match. One of my most favorite matches of my entire career, and that's. I had a lot of matches, man, and he just. Right after the match, I'm sick as a dog, and this whole thing's for Harley Race. And Harley Race is in the back. He's like, "Oh, good job, kid." He's sitting in his wheelchair, and I'm going like, I think I'm about to die. And he just comes up to me. He's like, "Man, that was one of the greatest matches I ever had. That was really fun, Robbie." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." The rest of the night, I was stuck under the table, couldn't move, because we weren't allowed to leave the locker room. They're like, "Do you want any water?" I'm like, "No." All I had was a bucket, and all I heard was Leland Race winning a title, and that was it.
My God. Why didn't you use it as a gimmick more? You know.
I was embarrassed. It takes a lot for me to be embarrassed too, and I was embarrassed at the time. My teeth, honestly. I mean, I know Robbie Rebel's pretty like the character is very out there, but I was afraid of breaking it too. I actually, can I go on another story? I'm sorry,
Sure.
I keep going on stories.
No, go ahead.
I was training down in Atlanta with Mr. Hughes, and there was one of my buddies who came straight from Japan.
So Soichiro, right?
Soichiro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
I don't have Facebook, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
I can't
You
text
don't-
him.
you don't have
I can't
number?
text him. His phone in Japanese, man. I can't call him. That's international.
He didn't
dude.
Americanize his shit, you know. Just
Oh, he has a Facebook, but my problem is that I wanted to stay away from social media for a while.
such a friendly guy too. But
One of my favorite guys
we
I met down there.
the night I did the death match with Bobby Dream, which turned into a fiasco at the end. Remember with the shoot fight for 5 minutes towards the end and all that. Yeah. I remember we went to the bar afterwards. Me, you, Static, and a couple of other people, and Soichiro was there, and he goes, "Hey, big man, come sit.
Yeah, broken English so bad. No one down in Atlanta knew what he was saying, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, he's trying to tell you the spot. He says drop kick, even though he said drop kick, and everyone down there, like, this might sound have a different lingo. Than people in New York.
Yeah,
so,
that's definitely true.
That southern accent mixed with being from Atlanta. I'm trying to, and then someone from Japan. It's like it doesn't really mesh too much. But I'm sorry, you were going.
No, that's all. I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well,
he just was very insistent that I sit with him and chat with him. Very nice guy.
Very great guy. I hope he's doing stuff. I really do. He's great.
Yeah.
He was great. Oh, but because of him, I had to leave Atlanta because of his birthday. You know what? I'm not dating my ex-girlfriend anymore, so I'll tell you this story. And this has nothing to do with wrestling.
Oh, is this
No.
ginormous redhead? You know what? Who screamed at me to do the ring?
Oh no! This is the reason why I even left Atlanta. This is the first time.
You just said your ex. I'm thinking, is that the ex you're speaking of, or someone else?
Oh yeah, but I have nothing against Diana.
Okay.
But I'm going back to Soichiro in Japan. They don't have any strip clubs at all whatsoever.
None
right?
in Japan?
None. That's what he was telling me. I didn't believe him, but he was really insistent, and it was his 25th birthday at the time, which now wow.
How old is
I'm 26 now.
Oh, wow.
So I was like 24, maybe 23. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I just turned 24 last week, I think.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Snapchat. I meant to. I feel bad. I'm sorry.
No.
But so we go to a strip club because the place where we were staying at was literally a motel, and right next to it is literally like 3 to 4 or 5 strip clubs.
Down in Atlanta, you throw a stone and you're going to hit a strip club.
Oh hell yeah! And we even trained behind a strip club, Club Wax. Everyone knows Club Wax down in Atlanta. But so we go in there and we end up staying there so late. We bring like one of the stripper girls back to the hotel, and I'm telling you, there's a bunch of dogs going crazy, and she started taking selfies with a lot of people, and then like she grew fond of me. and eventually just told my ex-girlfriend now that I got her pregnant and that I'm never coming back to New York. And it was the craziest thing that has ever happened to my life. Do you know how fast it took me? Literally, probably 12 hours to get home. That's a 16-hour drive.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's getting angry in that red couch over there.
No, she knows about this. She knows about this.
She's turning as red as that couch.
She knows about this story, and she's shocked that I'm even talking about it. I was questioning, but you know what? Can't regret life.
There you go.
Yeah, but that was one of the craziest things that has ever happened in my existence.
Jesus. We're going to be wrapping things up shortly.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for coming by, man.
Oh, it's done already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got-
Time flies
we got
when
like-
you're having fun, right?
Yeah. You
Oh, I'm ending on that note.
Well,
It looked like it.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, no.
You're ending on one more thing. But first off, I'd like to mention, and this is a total shoot, you are welcome back anytime.
I really appreciate that. This was really fun.
Yeah.
I might take you up on that offer.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even bring her if you want. Maybe get her on camera. break you of your shyness, you know.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
But I like her shy.
There you
I
go.
like her shy.
There you go. All right.
Gives the mystique.
Before we bring things to a close and take it to the finish, we want to ask you with
Go home.
all honesty, one final question. If you could change anything in the wrestling business, what would it be
Now?
right now? If it's a long answer, we can save it for the next time.
No. You know what it is for me? Bring back the passion.
You would bring back the
Bring back the
enthusiasm.
passion. It's there for people who want to put it there, but they're not allowed to put it out there. You know what I mean? Like, when I say this, I'm talking to corporate. Allow the art to go. Allow the art to evolve.
Right.
Allow
So
it.
your feeling is that like let's
It's
say
caged.
WWE? Yeah,
It's
it's
caged.
it's all scripted now.
It's not the fact that it's scripted. It's the fact that like the segments are too choppy. They don't smooth through.
Right.
Right.
Well, back in the day with Austin and Rock, it smoothed through.
Yep.
I could get into a huge story about that.
Well,
But bring back the passion.
yeah,
Allow it to go.
it's a great answer. Great answer. Robbie, thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you guys at home for checking us out tonight, as well as checking us out for every single week, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Strong Island TV and on the TuneIn Radio app. Next week is somebody's farewell. For my friend Joe here will be leaving and taking on a new life in Missouri, St. Louis, right?
No, Springfield.
Springfield. Okay, so you'll be with the yellow people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, congratulations on your move, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to try and give old Evil Joe here a good send-off. But until then, he's Evil Joe 3 and on Twitter and Facebook. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay, he's at Evil Joe 3 on Twitter and Facebook.
Just breathe. We'll get through this.
Thank you. I'm at John Sawyer 93 on Facebook. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next week.